Number 12, the anti-razor blade.
The anti-razor blade concept. Best way to explain this is to compare it to the razor blade. Anti-razor blade and razor blade will be opposite of each other. So we know from our practice that the razor blade is simple answer choices that deal with mechanics and usage. That means when there's just answer choices, you'll think simple, short answer choices that don't describe the noun or verb or give you all that extra information. It's just flat out noun and verb. We don't need anything extra, short and simple. On the other hand, the anti-razor blade says we are going to build up the noun and the verb whenever we're dealing with rhetorical skill questions that look something like this. There's going to be a question, stem. The author is considering making this sentence more visual. And here are the answer choices, A, B, C, and D. Okay, that's rhetorical skills. We will build up the noun and the verb. We have action words in these type of anti-razor blades questions. Say the author would like to suggest, the author wants to point out, the author wants to visualize, the author wants to make it more descriptive, the author wants to describe. Words that suggest anti-razor blade in rhetorical skills. So once again, razor blade, mechanics and usage, anti-razor blade for only rhetorical skill questions. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple questions. So problem number 9 illustrates the concept of the razor blade. The beginning of the sentence that we're dealing with here starts with the and goes all the way down over here to roommate. All right. The underlined portion for number 9 is right here. All right. It says the exchange coordinator told me I'd have a roommate this time and asked me whether I could share a bedroom with an English speaker, okay, or someone who didn't speak English. Okay, so if you speak English, you speak English. You don't, that's redundant. You don't need to put that in there, okay? And so that doesn't need to be in there. That doesn't need to be in there. And A is out. Real easy. D, because short and simple, to the point with the noun and the verb. Okay, see that? Razor blade. Now let's bounce that off of anti-razor blade. See here, it's a mechanics and usage problem because there is no question at the top. It's just simple answer choices. D for 9. Problem number 26 illustrates the concept of anti-razor blade. Here you see a question stem and our answer choices down here. You see the difference between here, mechanics usage, and rhetorical skills. In rhetorical skills, we're going to go ahead and look for an anti-razor blade. That means build up a noun and a verb. All right. At this point, the writer wants to add a sentence that would further describe the condition of the restaurant. Restaurant here is going to be the noun, and the condition is the verb. All right. So when we come over here, we find 26. It's right here. Okay, and that's in this paragraph. So if we skip up around here and we find what the restaurant looks like. All right, it says the counters are dented, okay, using the good stinky rule tells us that's negative. They're scratched, that's negative as well, okay, from years of knife abuse, negative. Old refrigerator, all right, and it looks like the slowly deteriorating, it's negative. Okay, and it says, I've often thought to offer Joe my painting services in exchange for some food, all right? So thinking about painting. All right, so we know that we're gonna need to talk about the restaurant, and looks like the restaurant is bad. It's in bad shape, all right? So if you look at answer choice F, it says, regardless of the appearance of the place is a Scooby-Doo for restaurant. I still, like flip-flopper, enjoy the sandwich. You see how he's offering his services over here, which tells you he's still going to eat there, and that would work. Let's put it out by that. Answer choice G, if you look at G, does G talk about the place, the restaurant? It said, I would like to see who is maintaining the place. Okay, so that doesn't really give you more information about the condition, so that's the wrong verb. Maintenance and the condition of the building, that's out. H, it says if I had the restaurant, I'd make sure it was clean, okay? Never says anything about it being dirty, it just says that it's old, all right? That's not the right verb because we're looking for the condition, you see that? And answer choice J says, people seem to ignore the building though. All right, ignore the building. Well, the building is the noun and the restaurant is the noun. So if you ignore the building, you ignore the restaurant. Well, that means you would have no customers, so that's not right. Look real close at what we did there. We labeled in the question stem the noun and the verb, and then we simply try to build up that noun and verb with the correct answer choice. The answer choice is going to be answer choice F for 26. Thanks for watching, kids. Anti-razor blade. Bye for now.